Hi everyone, it's me Samantha. Welcome back to UCTV. Today is Got Talent because every Friday we got talent. So UCTV Got Talents is at 4 p.m. on Facebook fan page for Unity Coalition. And remember that 5 p.m. on YouTube on Instagram. Just don't forget to follow us and visit our website unitycoalition.org coaliciónunida.org en español. Para toda nuestra gente que nos saluda en español, déjeme decirle, los viernes tenemos talento aquí en UCTV. Así que si usted quiere ser parte de nuestro show, no olvide en comunicarse con nosotros para que pueda ser parte de este gran espectáculo. Recuerde que estamos los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 4 de la tarde en la página oficial del fanpage de Unity Coalition y a las 5 de la tarde nos pueden encontrar en nuestro canal de YouTube y en Instagram. Para hoy, today, Friday, June 19, 2020, remember 4 p.m. fan page on Facebook Live. We're going to have Alex Sanchez, an interview with Aqua Labs. I'm sorry, but this is new for me, but let's say it again. Aqua Labs, thrilling gay romance author. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you want to know more about LGBT romance and all those stories, just stay connected with us because we have UCTV Got Talents and this is their Friday. Singers, dancers, and performers and writers. Join our virtual talent show and remember that the winner will be receiving $50 for today. And today our show is sponsored always by Gilead, Ambiente Magazine, and Care Resource. Everything that you need to know about the community, what is open and what is not open, you just go to the website unitycoalition.org and find community resource because they are very important for us. And today, the news today is Juneteenth, a day for liberation recognized by the Black community in the United States. It's marked the day 155 years ago when the slave African American across Texas learning they were free. Months after the Civil War and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation as an important turning point of our nation. June 19 is a day for all of us to honor and celebrate as Americans. This week, the U.S. Supreme Court Justice ruled LGBT people protecting from job discrimination. And the Supreme Court also ruled that Trump administration cannot carry out its plan to shut down different Action for Childhood Arrival program, which had allowed nearly 800,000 youth people known as the Dreamers to avoid deportation and remain in the U.S. This morning, the Florida Health Department confirmed 3,822 additional cases of COVID-19, setting another daily total record high since the start of the pandemic. The state now has a total of 89,748 confirmed cases. Are you registered to vote? We all must to do our part, all marginalized American. Voting is the best way to do it. Visit voteproud.org for more information. And remember, in November, we are always ready to vote. So, honey, if you are not subscribed, this is the time that you have to take care about yourself, your family, and the rest of the America. So, honey, yes, I'm registered to vote and everything is set it up for me. And it's not done yet. It's not over. Keep your mask on. No ha terminado. Mi gente en el sur de la Florida y todos los latinos que nos están escuchando, esto de la pandemia no se ha terminado. Así que en Unity Coalition TV queremos recomendarle que por favor continúen colocándose sus máscaras, lavándose las manos lo más pronto posible que ustedes lleguen a su casa o cualquier cosa que hagan que tenga que ser con un trabajo de manos, lávense las manos, utilicen antibacterial, alcohol y pónganse sus máscaras porque esto no ha terminado y va a seguir para largo. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready just to start today with our amazing man. But before to do that, are you ready for Elevate Virtual Summer Camping? Yes. Every Thursday, interactive from 7 p.m. on Facebook Live, free and fabulous by unitycoalition.org. You want to get more information about the virtual summer camp Elevate by Unity Coalition 2020? Go and check it out, the website, unitycoalition.org, on Instagram, Unity Coalition, or the fan page, Unity Coalition, a fan page on Facebook. So everybody knows what it is. So we are ready just to start today with our amazing, amazing guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, listen, you all know a story about the gay people. So this handsome man that I have right here next to me, Alex Sanchez. Let's say some claps and welcome to UCTV. Hi, Alex. Yes. How are you, Alex? Welcome to UCTV Fridays.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much, Alex. Tell me a little bit. People want to know who's Alex. What is this about, like LGBT story? Just a little interview.
Sure, absolutely. So, Alex Sanchez, originalmente de México, de papá alemán mexicano y mamá cubana. When I was 5 years
Viva
old, nos mudamos. When I was 5 years old, we moved to Texas. And so the rest of my life, I've spent here in the United States for the most part. And I always had a passion for writing. And when I was in college, that's when I really started writing. And then I got even more serious about it. In 1993, I set out to write my first novel. Like a lot of writers, I had this writer's block where I would start things, but it was very hard for me to finish things. But in 1993, with the help of a couple of friends, their encouragement, I was able to start my first novel, which became Rainbow Boys, my best-known book. And that came out in 2001. And it won the American Library Association Best Book for Young Adults. And it focuses on a love triangle between 3 high school senior boys. And as a result of the success of that book, then I wrote more and more and more books. I've published 8 so far from Simon & Schuster. And then about 3 years ago, I got a call from DC Comics that they'd heard about the books that I write. Rainbow Boys was about a love triangle between 3 high school senior boys. Another book, The God Box, was about gay teens, struggling to reconcile their spirituality and sexuality. And so DC loved, that I had written about these themes. They're rolling out a series of graphic novels, trying to reach audiences that don't normally read comic books. And they wanted a book about a teen dealing with his sexuality, a superhero teen dealing with his sexuality in addition to his superpowers. And so I wrote You Brought Me the Ocean, which just came out this past week. And You Brought Me the Ocean is a gay romance like none other that you've ever read, unlike any other that you've ever read, because it's not only a gay romance, it's also a superhero origin story, and it's also a coming out story. So all that packed into one. And it focuses on the character Aqualad, not Aquaman, but Aqualad. And it's his origin story. And in the process, Aqualad, right? In the process, he also falls in love and he comes out. So that's a little bit about my story and about You Brought Me the Ocean.
Oh, wow. I'm so happy that you tell to the community more about the LGBT story, because let's understand that there is so many disparity for the LGBT community was regarding what is the normal life. But this isn't a good way just to show up and basically learn and teach to the community how we can be a better person for the LGBT community. But now that you brought that, it connected me to the next questions. Is there a lot LGBT writers or creators for the community? Now that you're doing this, we want to know, like, if there more LGBT.
Sure, there on the screen, you're seeing some of the images for the graphic novel You Brought Me the Ocean. And what happens is that there's been a lot of, well, not a lot, but a good many, very many books published dealing with queer issues, my focus has always been on young people. That's where my voice as a writer is, writing about teenagers growing up. When I write, I remember back to what it was like for me as a teen. And at that time, there weren't any books that I could read. And the wonderful things about novels is that they can capture the experience of what it's like growing up. And so the books that I've written, they're all about, young people growing up, dealing with their sexuality, remembering what it was like for me growing up. And now what's very exciting is this is the first time I've written a graphic novel. And that combination of having both the words and the pictures makes the story so much more rich. In this case, I was very fortunate in that the illustrator for the book, Julie Moreau, she's well known for a lesbian graphic novel, Blue is the Warmest Color. Many of your viewers may be familiar with that. It was made into a very successful movie. Just an amazing lesbian love story. And so Jewel, they did the illustrations for You Brought Me the Ocean. And in the same way that Rainbow Boys was groundbreaking when it came out in 2001, telling the story of gay teens, it was something that hadn't been written about a lot back then. This is now also a groundbreaking in the sense of a graphic novel for teens, a comic book type story for teens that explores issues of sexuality and gender. So that's a little bit about how writing about, and one of the exciting parts about all this too is that as more and more readers read these books, then it also helps with the community building of the LGBTQ queer community. So one of the exciting things for me as a writer is to be hearing from so many readers as they're reading these books, and then they inspire me, and that inspires me to write more books to inspire them.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Alex, now that you mentioned this, I would like to connect with the other questions. What is your recommendation for a new generation like LGBT authors, and we want to start doing comics for LGBT community? What is that personal recommendation that you have for all of us?
So this was my first graphic novel, and I was excited to do it. When I got the call from DC Comics, and at the same time, I'd never written a graphic novel before. I'd never written a comic book before. And so my recommendation is to do what I did, to go on the internet and start ordering books, go to the library and start, checking out books, other, graphic novels, comic books, and seeing what works. You can go on the internet and find the different scripts for how to write a comic book script. And that's a lot of how I learned. And so in my writing, to try to engage readers emotionally, what I would always do is ask myself, what are the characters thinking? What are they feeling? And how do they show it? And so what I learned was with a comic book, with a graphic novel, there's even more opportunity rather than just showing, talking heads of two people talking, actually show them doing things. So what I was tried to capture together with the artist in You Brought Me the Ocean was in every panel to have the characters be doing something, even if it's just, pouring a glass of orange juice, or, walking somewhere, or, my editor, wonderful editor at DC Comics, she really wanted to show a lot of affection between the boys. But she was always like, go ahead, show them kissing, have them be kissing. You saw the one scene there on panel that was shown on the screen of, the boys, jumping into the water, wrapping their arms around each other. All these examples of showing the characters in action. So they're not just two talking heads, but actually show them doing things.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think that it's important to have character gay or representing as a LGBT in a comic story?
Oh, great question. What happens is it can, still even today, for many of us, especially growing up, being LGBTQ can still be a relatively lonely experience. Certainly not as lonely as, when I was growing up. At least young people nowadays, they have the internet, but they may not have that contact with other people. And so what a graphic novel, a comic, or fiction does is it creates a representation that someone can read a story or see themselves in print, and it's like holding up a mirror, and it's like, wow, there's someone else like me, and just how empowering that can be. So, in the books that I write, they're all about empowerment, about teens dealing with real life issues and working their way through them and being successful. And so, part of my goal, with this book is that same sense of empowerment. And then what it can do for non-queer readers is it gives them a window into the world of what it's like to be LGBTQ. So we have a lot of allies out there uh, who are interested in, well, what does it mean to be queer? What does it mean to be LGBTQ? And so for them, these sorts of the books are a window into our lives. So books like this, they serve both as mirrors and then also as windows. And what I would also say is, I'm writing the books that I wish I could have read when I was growing up, and just remembering back to how lonely I was, how powerful it would have been for me to be able to read a book like this.
Absolutely. And I know that it's very powerful for some of our community. And for me, I really appreciate if one day you decide just to create a comic story about a transgender, beautiful Latina. I mean, of course, my name is going to be on the top. No, I'm just kidding, but I would really love it. So if one day you decide to create comics about like transgender community, and especially at this time for we've been having a lot of problems for racism and discrimination against to our LGBT community. I have another question, which is very, very like personal. Aqualab is
Yeah.
based on a true story. Is that your story?
So what I do whenever I write, it's like I draw upon my own experience. And at the same time, different stories I'll hear, like, you're saying now about, a transgender character. And I think, that might be an interesting story. And then, bring in my experience and then also, my imagination. And so Aqualad in You Brought Me the Ocean, when I was growing up, I was so drawn to the ocean. It was my refuge. I scuba dived. I just had this love for the ocean. So I brought that into the story. Certainly Aqualad, when he's dealing with his sexuality and his confusion about that. And, am I gay? Am I bi? Am I straight? What am I? So I brought that into this story. And then he's got something of an overprotective mother. And that was also part of my experience. And then his crushes, he has a crush on this other boy. That's the romance in the story. That was part of my experience. The love triangles, when we're growing up. So bringing all that together. So on one hand, it's not my story. It is fiction. It's a combination of these things. And then on the other hand, it's all about me. It's what I most have to draw on is my own experience.
That's very good and that's very awesome. That's I wish that one day I can have my own story and just to write it down everything that's just happening in order to share opinions and with our LGBT community. But you're inspiring people, you are telling people, oh, this is what I feel but I'm so shy and I don't want to be out of the closet. I just want to keep myself from the closet. So that's in a good way that you're helping people. Sometimes they feel comfortable with that. Probably the story is similar to their story. But Alex, tell me that you have one piece of your book that you can read for all of us today in UC Got Talents. Tell me, please.
So part of what I'm so excited about this book is that, superheroes, whether it's Superman, uh, uh, or Batman or Wonder Woman, is that uh, that they're icons. Especially for young people, they see these superheroes as celebrities. And so what happens in a book like this, when they can see the story and how the character evolves and deals with things. So when you have a superhero like Aqualad, and he's coming out as gay, then what'll happen is that then young people will look up to him, and they'll be like, well, Aqualad is coming out, I can come out too. So that's part of what I'm excited about with this story in particular. And sometimes people will ask me, do I also write in Spanish? Even though I'm from Mexico, when I was growing up, I was, like happens for a lot of Latino young people, is that Latinx young people, is that we come to the United States and, we want to be, American, we want to be part of the culture that we're in now, And so I lost a lot of my ability to speak Spanish. Entonces sí puedo hablar español con acento, pero ya cuando viene a escribir es difícil. It's difficult for me to write in Spanish. So my book, Rainbow Boys, my first novel, is now being translated into Spanish, and that's due to come out next year. So perhaps I'll come back on the show when that comes out in Spanish. I would love to, and hopefully that'll lead to other books being published in Spanish. In terms of you brought me the ocean, perhaps that'll be published in Spanish as well.
That's very good. That's very good. Alex, people know that you speak Spanish very well. I know that you mentioned something to create something in Spanish, but dime algún saludo que quieras enviarle a las personas en estos momentos en español que quieren empezar una carrera de escritura o quieren ser escritores o artistas, porque en este medio en el que te estás envolviendo ahora mismo es fantástico. Tienes cantidades de puertas abiertas. ¿Cuál es esa recomendación que quiere darle a toda nuestra comunidad de habla hispana referente a lo que queremos hacer para ser escritores? En este caso, para ser artistas de cómics.
Bueno, parte de lo lindo del arte es que el arte de por sí no tiene idioma, ¿verdad? Cualquier persona lo puede ver, y indiferente a su idioma, lo puede capturar las imágenes y los personajes en dibujos. Entonces, por eso es muy, muy lindo para mí ahora estar lanzando, ya de haber sido escritor por ya más de 20 años, de ahora tener mi primer graphic novel, cómica, libro cómic, como no sé exactamente cómo se dice en español, pero eso ya entiendo como cómica, ¿verdad? Con dibujos. Entonces, sí, esa sería mi recomendación. Para muchos es mucho más fácil hablar en nuestro propio idioma, escribir en nuestro propio idioma, y después dejar que sea traducido. Entonces, en ese caso es lo que hago. Sin embargo, la mayoría de los personajes que yo escribo en libros siempre son latinos, o sea, en un libro cubano, en otro libro mexicano, entonces mexicano-americano, para así siempre tener personajes latinos como los protagonistas de mis libros.
Mientras que estás hablando de eso, quisiera justamente aprovechar en estos momentos para mandarle un saludo a una especial, a alguna persona que nos está viendo en estos momentos, y es a Frida. Ella también es mexicana, así que quiero mandarle un saludo aquí en Miami, donde te encuentres. Muchos saludos y bendiciones. Gracias por seguirnos en nuestra página oficial de fanpage. Y recuerden, para todas las personas, nosotros estamos aquí en UCTV lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 4 de la tarde y luego a las 5 en nuestro canal de YouTube y en el Instagram. Alex, déjame preguntarte otra cosita más en español. ¿Qué es lo que tú estás buscando que las personas entiendan en estas historias LGBT en cómics? Porque queremos recordarle que dependiendo de nuestras culturas y a diferentes cosas de nuestros países, de nuestras vivencias, ha sido muy difícil para que muchas personas acepten su condición sexual. Ahora imagínate tú que un padre, ¿cuál sería tu opinión que un padre latino cogiera este tipo de cómics y encontrara de que es un cómic para la comunidad LGBT latina? ¿Cuál es esa recomendación que le dieras tú a esos padres que están apenas entrando en este mundo de conocer con sus hijos LGBT?
Bueno, por decir, el mensaje que siempre trato de lanzar en cualquier libro que he escrito es la importancia de uno querer amar a sí mismo, ¿verdad? Y ser verdadero a sí mismo, to be true to who you are.
Yes.
Entonces, la importancia para los padres sería de aceptar que su hijo o hija, como sea, gay o transgender, lo que sea, a aceptar que es como son y que es una bendición cuando uno puede aceptar una persona como es, cuando uno puede aceptar a sí mismo, su mismo, como es. Entonces, mi mensaje, mi tema en todos mis libros es ser verdadero a quien uno es. Be true to who you are.
Exactly. And I want to say this in English. Thank you so much for everything. As I said, I didn't get the opportunity just to read one of your book or read one of the story, but I still feeling that connection. I still feeling that emotion, because it's just an emotion that you feel so released and everything. And I know that when people just get their comics and they they just want to read more about it, they're gonna feel that connection. But let me ask you something: how we can find more information about everything that you're doing for your life, about the stories, about the comics? Tell me where we can find it, and if it's that the reason, how we can get virtual comics.
Sure. Well, to find out more about me, you can always go to my website, alexsanchez.com. And in terms of the book, You Brought Me the Ocean, it's available wherever books are sold. So at your local bookstore, at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold, bookshop.org for that. And so that would be where to find me, alexsanchez.com, and where to find the books as well.
That's pretty amazing. And Alex, I know, do you have one part that you want to read and share with our community right now? This is your time. We want to hear you. A little piece that maybe you have about the story.
Sure. So the story basically is it's about Jake Hyde, and in the DC universe, there's Aquaman, and then there's the super villain, a Black Manta, and so Jake Hyde, he lives in New Mexico. Part of what I was able to do with the book is people may know Aqualad from cartoons on TV or previous versions of the comic books. And so I was able to take bits and pieces from those different previous stories. And so Aqualad is living in New Mexico. and his best friend is a Mexican-American girl, Maria, and her family is sort of like Jake's second family, Jake Hyde. He's the protagonist who will become Aqualad. And then as he begins, he's always known that he's different. And so part of what's so exciting about the story is that it's both about him discovering who he is as a gay person and who he is in terms of his sexuality and then in terms of his superpowers. And what happens for a lot of us as queer people is we always see superheroes as this metaphor for being LGBTQ because, in the same way that superheroes, they have a secret identity and they're forced to live a double life where they can't tell everyone about who they really are because oftentimes we have our own supervillain, which is homophobia and transphobia, and we constantly have to be facing that. And so for queer people, lots of times for us is we can identify with those superheroes, with their secret identities, double lives, and having to face this supervillain. And so what was very exciting for me in writing the book was to follow those two tracks and really push that metaphor that at the same time Jake is discovering his sexuality, he's also discovering his superpowers.
I know that we all have a superpower. So, honey, this is my superpower. Be gorgeous. Be out there, be in the community. And Alex also have his own power. He's putting all these stories out there so people know more about LGBT community and know the disparities that we have, because it's the time that we love each other. It's the time to respect. And Alex, let me tell you personally that this is a great opinion, because everything is perfectly just for what you want to teach to the community. LGBT community, we need more love. And this is part of the love. This is part of your love. And this is part of the share what we have to bring for our community. So, Alex, tú me dijiste en español que eres parte cubano y parte mexicano. ¿Te identificas con los dos países o sientes más afinidad uno que el otro o estando aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Bueno, en mi caso es como el decir ni de aquí ni de allá, ¿verdad? Que como es toda una mezcla, entonces me trato de sentir en ambiente donde sea, pero en realidad mi afinidad es tan distinta. Tendría que decir por parte de mi mamá una gran influencia cubana. Sin embargo, mis primeros recuerdos, memorias son de México, y no he regresado a Cuba desde que yo tenía para mi bautizo, ¿verdad? Cuando tenía 6 meses o lo que sea, pero sí he regresado muchas veces a México. Entonces, que tendría que decir que bueno, por tanto tiempo que he pasado en México, me siento más mexicano, pero por influencia de mi mamá y mis parientes en Miami, en la comunidad cubana ahí, entonces me siento también cubano. Entonces, ambos.
Maravilloso, se entiende justamente de dos nacionalidades y queremos justamente que las personas se sientan cada vez más afinados, más correspondidos, más representados, y por eso les tenemos a Alex aquí, mi gente, para que ustedes conozcan mucho más de lo que él está haciendo por toda nuestra comunidad, no solamente LGBT, porque todos nos podemos de una u otra manera ganar algo de todo lo que él está haciendo. Ha sido mucha inspiración para muchos latinos, ha sido inspiración para muchos también personas que están en Centroamérica, para los que estamos aquí en los Estados Unidos. Inclusive para mí, les quiero comentar de que muchas veces yo también intenté hacer cómics utilizando diferentes páginas web para crear para unos editores, para poder ayudarnos todos en comunidad. Y déjenme decirles que es bastante, pero bastante increíble lo que se puede hacer creando historias y referente a nosotros, la comunidad LGBT. Alguien me está sugiriendo, Alex, que la próxima vez, please create a story about me, Super Samantha. Yes, it's me. I'm gonna be your superhero. Yes, Super Samantha. And you know, maybe Super Samantha can do something for our community in the reality. You know, I have the superpower how to be gorgeous and helping the community. I'm gonna help you to be gorgeous. Bling, you know, and make and making fashion and making perfect. You know, there are so many things that happen right now. Quiero decirle a mi gente de México, no debería decirlo aquí, ¡Viva México, cabrones! Los adoro, los quiero. I love my Mexican people. Thank you. Oh my God, my nails are falling off. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is UCTV. And remember, this is every Friday, 4 p.m. here on Facebook Live. And then on 5 p.m. on Instagram and YouTube. Just to remind and put out there everything that you need to know. Oh, maybe, Sammy, I got questions. Where should I go? What is open right now? The COVID-19 is getting me crazy. Girl, everything that you need to know for that community, go to the website, unitycoalition.org, and click on community resource and everything that you need to know. What's open? What is not open? Where should I go? Where not? Is the Black community out there? Yes, honey, we're being out there, and we're going to be out there for a long time. So everything that you need to know en los recursos de nuestra comunidad. Si necesita comida, si no sabe dónde está la comida abierta, cuáles son los bancos de comida, esto y muchas cosas más, usted los puede encontrar en los recursos comunitarios que tenemos para toda nuestra comunidad latina. Ya saben que si usted es una persona transgénero o se identifica género no binario o género no conforme, con lo último que ha pasado en los últimos cambios que ha pasado en este país referente a nosotros, la comunidad transgénero, eso no hay ningún problema. Care Resources lo atiende a usted en cualquier momento. Si usted tiene problemas, tiene o no tiene seguro, cualquier información que usted necesita acerca de su salud, vaya hasta Care Resources, que ellos no le van a hacer discriminación. Se lo digo por cuenta propia porque a mí me atendieron. So, if you suffer by discrimination, let's say this in English, you know that something happened with the transgender community. Sometimes we don't have any place to go for, you know, being a transgender, or you gotta go to some doctors or the clinic. Sometimes they reject him because they don't want to treat you because you're a transgender. So I'm telling you, the people go to Care Resource because they don't play with it. Are you a person? They like, oh, come on, we're gonna help you. So that's the people that we want around. Thank you, Care Resource. Thank you, Gilead. And thank you, Ambiente Magazine, for making this possible. And UCTV, remember, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next Monday, June 22nd, 4 p.m., Facebook Live, fan page, UCTV. The politics and the LGBT plus politics part number 1. Yes, me, Samantha Letois. I'm going to be the guest with Tony Lima. Yes, honey, he's so handsome. Tony Lima, I love you. I hope to see you. And the next Monday, lead the panel discussion of the issue and challenge ahead for the community and how best to prioritize the move forward. So what are we going to do? What's the next step that we have to do in order to fix the transgender community, LGBT community, gay community? So you all need to be connecting with us, because what's the next step that we have to follow? Ruby Colorado, Casa Ruby, Stephen Hatkins, the presidents of South Florida LGBT Democratic Caucus, Patricia Hernandez, Robin, and Ruby Coronado, all of them, they're going to be with us on the next Monday. Just remember, Monday, June 22nd, 4 p.m., we're going to talk the politics of the LGBTQ plus and politics, part number 1. So don't miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Alex Sanchez. Alex, recomendaciones para mi gente latina. ¿Cómo estás haciendo en esta pandemia? Me imagino que estás más concentrado en el trabajo. Are you more working, you know, during this pandemic?
Yes. So for me, I was working from home before, and I've continued working from home, both writing, and now I'm working on a memoir. So I'm doing my own drawings for that. So spending a lot of time at home. I'm married, so my husband, he goes out to work, and you know, basically that's it. You know, keeping the mask on whenever I go out. It's really important. And yeah, otherwise working at home, doing a lot of stuff on the internet.
Okay. Thank you for that. Alex, is the time just to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being with us in UCTV. Remember, this is your house and we have all the doors open for you and anytime that you want just to continue and be in the show with us. So thank you for everything that you're doing for my community.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'll keep in mind Super Samantha. You're an inspiration.
Thank you so much. And thank you to you. Please, I hope to see you next time at UCTV. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have today a special UCTV Got Fridays because sometimes it change, but it's not over. That's what I want to let you know. You all people, you better wear that mask, honey. It's not over. So, esto no ha terminado. Póngase su máscara because the second wave is getting very, very hard. So, Florida, my LGBT people, this is UCTV. Remember, every Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 p.m. here on Facebook Live. And today on UCTV Got Talents, we got a virtual performance from Alvin, Ailey, honey. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time that I want to say thank you all for being in the show with us. Remember, every Fridays is UCTV and Got Talent because we got talent. Thank you, Unity Coalition. Thank you, Ambiente Magazine, Gilead, and Care Resource. And let's check it out. This video that we have from Alan Ailey.
Merhaba.
Ciao.
Shalom.
Salam.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nie wszystko super.
We hear you. Nice to see you.
你好吗？
Kako ste vi? Super izgledate.
Hello. Bonjour, mes amis.
Namaste, everyone, all around the world.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Can you see me?
그 어느 때보다 서로를 필요로 해.
Potrzebujemy siebie teraz bardziej niż kiedykolwiek.
Wie geht es euch allen?
Мы должны быть едины.
Nos necesitamos más que nunca.
我们现在比以往更需要团结在一起。
Wir sind vereinigt.
Yo estoy respondiendo la llamada.
Musimy być wszyscy razem.